All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit all the buttons for me, but most of all, hit the love button. All right, want to pick up where I left off yesterday, talking about how to make money in this basically pandemic economy, and also with systemic racism. So now we have to look. You obviously understand that there is a new world order. That there is a certain way um, that everything goes, and then they use the media, all different types of media, in order to influence us to do what we do. And as a media practitioner for many years, in fact, I've been in the media since I was 13 years old. So I kind of understand what's going on, and so I want to make sure that you understand what's going on, and you can accept it or reject it, or however you want to do it, however you want to play it. It's up to you how you want to play it. But here's the thing: right now, everything is being pushed into investing in companies and whatever. We have moved from basically a manufacturing society to a techno society, a technological society, and information technology and logistics. That's basically where all of the money is, and that's why they can't get rid of all these jobs. First of all, you can get a job paying good money just doing logistics, or doing different things, and of course there's like a lot of uproar because of the wages and all that kind of stuff. So Bernie Sanders wants to make a $15 minimum wage, and people are balking at that because they're saying, well, if we pay $15, then that'll raise up all the prices. But yes and no, there'll be some inflation associated with it, but not necessarily true. And basically what everybody is doing at this point is, it's like, buy a product from me, and then I'll ship it to you, which is where the jobs come in: logistics, getting people, products, food, whatever it is, from point A to point B. So that's where all the money is. The other place where money is in technology. Obviously, if you have some technology skill, because everybody what has a presence on the internet, social media, all of this kind of stuff. All of these things are ways to make money, and so that's one thing. And then the other thing is what I've been always cognizant of ever since I went to college. Back in the early '80s, there was talk about this type of society, and of course they kind of steered us into it. But the thing was that the society is run by what is called narrowcasting. So you don't really have to, So this is where I'm talking about racism. You don't really have to subscribe to anything that's in racism. Why? Because I can pick what I want to see, when I want to see it, how I want to see it, and all that kind of stuff. And but the government and the powers that be, the whole new world order type deal, they permeate all of the media. So right now, what's being put out there, all of these new currencies. So basically, all the new currencies that are being put out there, the bitcoins, etc. Those are the things that are being promoted and pushed, and they're showing, oh, this guy invested this, and this, and he made $1 million, he made $1 billion, or that kind of stuff. So that's what's being put out there, and so the narrowcasting is towards that. That's one of the things that the narrowcasting is towards. One of the other things that the narrowcasting is toward is being, people are trying to what? They're trying to gain popularity. So trying to gain popularity, so what? So that you can be an influencer or whatever, which is what they've been doing all along. but now it's just narrowly casted. So that's how they're making all this. Just like when Method Man came out, he was like, man, how are these young rappers making all this money? Well, that's how they're making money, because they're being narrowcasted to a specific market segment, and they can prove who's watching them. All right. So because they can prove who's watching them, then I don't have to go. Now it's not necessary for me to go on national TV, take out a real, expensive ad, and then try to what? Try to get people to buy my products, goods, or services. So that's what we're being pushed towards. And so wake up to that. And then the other thing is, you can have your own business, because there's no contact, and everything that's brick and mortar is becoming obsolete. So you notice what? Shopping malls closing down, things that actual locations to shop, because anything that I want, all I got to do is what? Go on my phone, and I can find anything, anywhere. Basically, if they have a presence on the internet, any place, I can find whatever I want and whatever I need. And not to mention, then after I find it, I can get it delivered to my house, or business, whatever. So I can get the stuff delivered to me. And most times now, with the way the competition is in the delivery business, it's going to be within 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. I can have, if the stuff is there and it's made and it can be delivered, I'm going to have the stuff there within 24 hours. So that's where everything is going, and that's how you're going to be able to make money. And the other thing is, logistics is very important. That's why they got all of these. They start now, like here in Arizona, they literally have driverless trucks, and they've been there. I think this is going on like the third year that they've been sending driverless trucks between Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona, and they go out every morning. And I was like amazed that they got this huge truck, and they're basically it's autopilot, So they got all of this stuff. So they're eliminating certain parts of jobs, but then there are other jobs. So the jobs that are available are where? They're in the service industry. So if you've been looking online and you've been checking out, what do you see now? We're closed. All of these like fast food restaurants, we're closed because what? Because we can't get enough people to work for us. We would love to be open. We would love to open more locations, but we can't get anybody in here to actually work and cook the food and do all that, because they're not. The reason is that they're not paying enough. And it's almost like when Bill Clinton was president in the 90s, and there were people, in order to make money, you're going to have to raise the minimum wage, because you're not going to be able to get people. If I could make $20 an hour, why would I go someplace and make, $7 to $10 an hour when I can make double that? And so that's the problem that we're having right now. And it's like too many chiefs, no Indians. There are no Indians out there. Nobody wants to work, because I can go online. I could set up an online presence, and I could sell products from my house, not even leave my house or whatever, and the pandemic has guaranteed that. And right now, the big struggle is, if you're reading the papers and stuff like that, the big struggle is trying to get workers to return to work, because they don't want to be around other people. And the reason why they don't want to be around other people is because they're scared of catching COVID. That has a lot to do with it. So they're scared of catching COVID. And then we're hearing now that the latest casualties in India, that the strain that they have in India is a different strain of COVID. It's different. And then there are reports, and of course the government is not putting this stuff, in the mainstream, but there are reports out there that people who have been vaccinated are still catching COVID, even though they've taken the vaccine. So you understand that all of this stuff in the economy and everything else. So they're trying to get you to what? Invest in companies and in the stock market. Put your money in the stock market where you will get a return on investment, where you don't have to go to work. And then, of course, all of the manufacturing is being done overseas, being done in countries where they don't have strict labor laws, or they don't have minimum wages and all that kind of stuff, where where they can pay somebody next to nothing and still have them produce the products. And that's basically the case with a lot of the components that actually go into our phones and things like that. So that's why they if you see the papers, what they're talking about, or see the news, I shouldn't say the papers because nobody reads papers pretty much anymore. But if you look, what's happening out there? What's happening is that they can't make enough chips and and all of this stuff to go in the cars, the phones, because everything is taking computer chips. So they can't make enough of them. Why? Because they can't pay people enough to make them. So they had and they're behind, because that's where all the information and everything like that is being disseminated. So information is being disseminated through phones and all of that. But if you don't have the ability to produce the phones, or if you don't have the ability to produce parts for the phones, which is a good business. Everybody would say, well, that's a good business to go into. Start creating all the technology, because the only manufacturing basically is manufacturing to create technology. And then the other thing is, all these brick and mortar areas and things like that. It's all based on what? It's all based on the fact that I can do everything that I need to do online. Now, the other thing I want to address is this whole thing with the pipeline, which is another, which is a way to raise gas prices. I mean, simple as that. It's a way they're stealing money, because there's, if you got a problem, then get it fixed and turn the pipeline back on, because you got to remember, just a few months ago, in fact, maybe a year ago, gas prices, a barrel of oil wasn't even worth $1. There was a point where it wasn't even worth $1. And then the other problem is that if there is a problem, then open up the strategic oil supply. Why? Because we now know that we can open up that strategic oil supply. We can flood the market with that gasoline, and what? And it's not going to affect us in the future. And the reason why it's not going to affect us in the future is because of green energy. So we got solar, we got wind power, solar power, all of these different things, but they're being restricted to us. So if you want to, so that's the place to invest, because they're being restricted to us. Why? Because the oil companies and all, et cetera, want to continue to make money. Yeah, so so that's how they're making their money. They know, okay, so we create our own shortage. That's why I don't believe none of it. We create our own shortage, then we raise the price of, so why is a gallon of oil worth more now than it was, a year ago? And it's still the same, same supplies. And like I said, all of the cars, we're going to have, everybody is as committed by 2025, everybody's going to be producing, electric cars and all of those. And with Tesla, Tesla with the Tesla wall and all this stuff and all the different solar panels, Arizona State University has developed a solar panel that will even produce water for your house. So there's all these different things that are out there, and that's what especially people of color, need to start investing in, because the world as we know it is not going to be the same. It just isn't. And so, there's not going to be a lot of brick and mortar jobs. So anyway, fastest 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Subscribe button, like button, all the buttons, but most of all, hit the love button. Love you.